I call this shot the slam dunk because you have to hit it really hard to execute the shot. Slam dunk, flat 5 balls. Wait a minute. He was fouled on the shot. That gets me out of it. Well, a lot of times, see, a lot of people don't think there are any conditions in this game. You know? Like people that play golf, all these other athletes and all other sports don't think there are any conditions in this game because we're not running and jumping and slamming basketballs and running after tennis shots, which I'm a very good tennis player. Let's see, I play a little. I'm on chip and Jordan on one-handed. I come from the 70s in tennis. They didn't have two-handed players then. Jimmy Connors was it, and Borg, which I idolize. Those are 2 great players. But the conditions are that I missed that ball because things have changed. I understand just a little. Let's see if I can correct it now. Same shot, 5 balls in 1 shot. So obviously I figured out what was wrong, right? Because I executed the shot on the next shot. You know, a lot of times when you miss a shot, we learn more from it than making it. So there you go. All you players out there that are playing, trying to get better, you have to learn how to compensate. That's the key to this game, compensation all the time. So that's what I did on that shot. After I missed it, obviously I didn't want to miss the first shot. That's just the way this game is. Oh, sometimes is a game of misses. You understand? Sometimes it's better to miss than it is to make the shot. You know? Got a shot, you make it. If you make it, you can't get position. So you miss it. You wound up leaving the player in a different position. So if you had made the shot, you would have lost the game. So there's millions of people that don't understand pool the way we do. We understand the adversity of this game. We understand all the little variables that go along with it. This is how you leave each other. He's leaving me awkward and I'm leaving him good. It happens all the time. It's a funny game. You know, the snooker players have problems understanding this game. They call it flimsy and easy, but it's not. It's a game you're never safe in. You're never safe in this game until you win your last game, and it's over. You take your opponent's hand. Look at the yell I made a while ago. You know, got down to the 8 ball and missed it. That's the nature of this game. Is I made so many hard shots concentrating along the way that I had a mental lapse just for a second. Enough to lose that game and it cost me the match. But anyway, that's under, you know, that's gone now. Believe me. That's why I'm a pool player killer. Because what he did to me is gone. You understand? It's gone. All right, here we go. This shot was real famous in America. Steve Miserac made this shot real famous. If you remember Steve Miserac, who was a great player, died a few years ago, really great player. But he shot it in a Miller Lite commercial. There was a can of beer sitting here. We'll put the chalk there to represent the can of beer. It was Miller Lite can of beer. He would pocket the 1 ball on the side, 14 on the side, 12 on the side, 6 in the corner, 7 in the corner. The difficulty of this shot is getting the cue ball to go 3 rails, lift that can of beer and make this ball.
You want to use cider?
What?
You want to use cider?
No, I don't leave a ring on the table. That's okay. But sometimes Steve, you know, Steve Miserac owns this shot. So sometimes he doesn't want you to make it. Hope he lets me make it the first try. All right, this is in honor of Steve Miserac. If you watch a really nice match of he and I in 1983, this is one of the most classic matches, even though I ran away with the match, but I never missed the ball. On a rug, too, like this. It wasn't even on. It was growing this thing while I was shooting on it. It had a big patch in the middle of the table. If the ball landed on it, it would grab it like Velcro. Big sticky patch in the middle of the table. I kept trying to avoid it. But you can't believe how good I played this match on a rug. I'm telling you, literally. So be thankful you're playing on these good belts these days. You wouldn't like playing me on those. All right, here you go. In honor of Steve Miserak, the Miller Lite shot.
Wow.
Wow!
Well, Steve let me have that one this time. You know, it took me 383 takes to make that film. And, but you know how movies are. You know, they want to get it just right. I'm sure Steve executed it many times during that. And he thought it was perfect, but they didn't. So 383 takes, that's a lot.
Excuse me. Can I ask a few questions here?
Yeah,
Same
go ahead.
time, over here on the right side. The fat guy. Hey, how you doing?
I recommend you 600 sit-ups a day.
Perhaps. You never know. Just a few beers, perhaps. But for you, you've been here around billiards, what, over 40 years now?
I
Perhaps.
started playing in 1969. First time I played.
So 8 at that time. Yeah. So for these trick shots, for example, when was the first time you were into those?
Well, I like to tell just a brief story on the trick shots. Yeah. When I first came into the game, I didn't like trick shots. I thought they were silly and they didn't belong. And Mike Massey was around then. You know Mike Massey. And after the tournament was over, I thought, you know, everyone should be around me still. But Mike would be doing trick shots after the tournament. I'd stand there and watch him do them. And I envied him. I was jealous. And I kept doing that for several years. And when I got about 28 or something like that, I said to myself, instead of getting mad at the guy, get him to teach me some stuff. I learned all my trick shots from Mike Massey, but he taught me well. He really did. And he told me that he told me that I learned to shoot the shots better than him. Actually, that's what he told me. He's got one of the greatest pull strokes that ever was on a human being. He really does. I could never match his draws, but some of the trick shots, I'm good at them, he said. So that's an honor coming from Mike. Mike's the greatest trick shot entertainer I ever met. You know, he's really unbelievable. And I owe a lot to him. I want to say that. Thanks, Mike. All right, since I got the mic, I can explain this shot. This shot is one of the oldest trick shots in pool. The first guy I ever seen shoot this shot was the legendary Willie Mosconi, which the Mosconi Cup is named after. And he was a great player. He holds a high run of 526 balls. I tried to beat his record in, I think it was 1997 or 96, somewhere along there. I tried to beat his record. I tried for several weeks, and I couldn't do it. The best I got was 408 balls. But I did do one remarkable thing. I pocketed 408 balls in 2.5 hours. And I thought that was a very fast time for 408 balls. But I'll let anybody challenge that. They can run 408 balls in 2.5 hours. I don't think they can beat that. But that's a great accomplishment from Willie Mosconi. But this shot is in honor of Willie Mosconi. It's one of his famous shots. It's one of the first shots I ever seen him shoot. I got to shoot it. Willie, we still love you, buddy. 4 balls. What's difficult about this shot, I got to bank the 14 ball. The 12 on the side, the 15 in the corner, the 11 in the corner. And what's difficult is I got to bank the 14 one round. 4 balls. Willie used to do that too. Matter of fact, I saw Willie do that a few times. Like I told you before, you saw me go up and tap the ball, right? The conditions have changed since I set the shot up. So it should be good. You know, like I said before, this game is a game of compensation. The best players in the world compensate better than you do. That's the difference. That's why we get better. Because we acknowledge everything that happens to us. Just like I did there, didn't I? I knew to adjust that ball. I did it on the other one. The elements are changing. The atmosphere is more dense right now than it was when I started setting the shots up. And I can't always compensate for it. I have to make a mistake or two sometimes to see what I'm doing wrong. And it sounds like tower graves and all that, But that ain't what it is. This game is complicated. We all know that, right? Very complicated game. All right, let's try another shot that Mike showed me once. Mike Massey and I were in China. Mike and I were in China one time, and tour in China, and he got up from breakfast. What was it? He came in to breakfast. We were having breakfast. He came in and he said, "Earl, I got a new shot." I said, "Mike, how could you have a new shot? You were in the room all night long." He says, "Yeah, but I figured it out in my mind." I said, "No, there's no way nobody could do that." He says, "Yeah, I did." He said, "I figured a shot out in my mind without a pool table." So I always needed a pool table to figure out shots, you know what I mean? I could do it on paper maybe, but the guy's a genius, he really is. I mean, he comes up with this shot. I mean, we go to the table, he sets the shot up, and I literally don't know where the balls are going. I can see they're aiming, some of them are aiming towards the pockets, but I don't know which direction he's going to shoot it in. And then I ask him, I say, "Which direction are you shooting the ball?" And he sets it up and says, "This way." And he asked me where the balls were going, and I got some of them right, but I missed a few. But anyway, it's a remarkable shot that he came up with. The 13 ball goes here, 7 balls, 13 ball, the 4 in the side, the 2 remarkably goes all the way through into the side. That was one I couldn't figure out the day he set it up. And I missed the 10 ball. The 10 ball goes through down there. It's just remarkable. The 3 goes in the side, the 7 in the corner, and the 15 follows the 13 in. Remarkable shot. Just another great shot from Mike Massey that he invented, and it's in honor of Mike Massey. 7 balls. Remarkable, ain't it, huh? It really is. You know, I was born on a farm. I was literally born on a tractor, believe it or not. I'm the only pool player alive today that has picked cotton by hand. There were no combines. When I first saw a combine going through the field, I was cheering. Yay, yay, no more cotton picking. You want to talk about something that's desperately difficult and miserable to do. Go try to pick some cotton for a while with 100-degree sun shining on you, bugs and everything in the world's biting you, and it's all sandy and hot, and the things cut your fingers. You literally got to put gloves on to pick it, you know. But I've come a long way since I was picking cotton, that's for sure. And then I was a tobacco farmer. I went from the firing, from the fire to the frying pan. Then when we got done picking, well, we actually did tobacco first. You know, tobacco, cigarette tobacco. And that is the most miserable thing you'll ever do, believe me. I used to crop tobacco too. I was born and raised on a farm. And then when we get done with tobacco, that's when we had to pick cotton. So I wanted to get out of there, believe me. I didn't fit in, you know what I mean? I really didn't. I used to tell my mother, I says, "Why was I born here?" But anyway, one day I was working with my uncle in tobacco. And every day I would take my money, 50 cents. I wouldn't buy a cake and a drink at the break. I would go in and play on this little bar table, play a couple of games of pool. So after a week, my uncle looked at me and he says, "You don't eat when we take the break, you shoot pool." I says, "Yeah, you think I'm going to be farming for a living?" He says, "What do you mean by that?" I says, I'm not going to be a farmer. I says, "I'm going to be a pool player." He says, "No way." He says, "You'll never make it as a pool player." I says, "Yeah, you watch me." Everybody in that town said I'd never make it. But I got out of there. But farmers are great people. And you know, I learned a lot from being on the farm. I learned to appreciate life and land and animals and a lot of stuff like that. So I'm not a city boy by no reason, but I'm living in a big city now. I live in New York City, it's 30 million people. But it's the only city for me right now. I finally realized that. All right, I used to stand at the end of the cornfield and shoot dove, mourning doves. There was a season for that. The corn, when we knocked the corn down, the dove would come in to feed off of the stuff we left. So they were easy to pray. We sit there and shoot dove. So now I figured out a way to shoot dove on the pool table now. It's called skeet shooting, whatever, dove shooting, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to roll balls down the table and pocket them as they go. I'm going to try to get 7 or 8 in a row. It'll be difficult. I got to warm up a little bit. But our number is 7 or 8, okay?
Nice. Nice. Hit.
How many of them balls in that pot? Start over. I gotta do 8 at least, or 7. Takes me a little bit. I gotta warm up sometimes. The weight's holding me back.
Sizer, maybe.
Come on! The other night I was doing a lot better than this, but the belt was a lot newer. Stuff on this newer belt. I know I can do 8 in a row. I used to do it. I've done more than 20. Yeah, it's too slow. I mean, yeah, see, it won't catch up. All right, I'll come back to this. A little bit.
So anyway, Earl, rehearsing these trick shots usually, have you ever counted how many hours you've done
Yeah,
past the years?
it took a lot of time to learn all this. It took me about 5 or 6, 8 years out of my career. I mean, well, I was playing at the same time, but it was worth it because, you know, I can stand here and entertain you today, you know. Oh, he's talking. You hate to fail, you know, it's just. It seems like that's all I do is fail in this thing. As hard as I work, nothing comes from it. It's amazing. Nobody even cares. But us, this is the way it is. The world's not going to save me. You understand? Nobody's going to save me. I got to save myself. I'm my own commentator. I'm my own critic. I'm my own fan. The world ain't on my side. The world's against me. That's the difference. The world ain't on your side. They're against us. They don't celebrate pole. Nobody ever loots and burns a city over a pole match. Of course, I don't want you to do that. Only over basketball. These guys are big criminals if they weren't hitting. I don't know what they did. I know what I am. That's for sure. I test myself every day. See if I'm going to live or die. Love it. All right, here's a shot. Chalk it up light. You got to chalk up good before you start this shot. This is called the machine gun shot. I'm going to try to shoot these balls as quick as I can. They go off of the stick, into the pocket. It's a great shot if I can execute it. Here we go, the machine gun shot. Oh, the pocket You ain't gonna believe it. I play in New York City. They got all ball returns. I can't believe I felt the ball. I thought I was playing on a ball return. Isn't that amazing? They thought I was on a ball return. You know what a ball return is?
Yep.
The ball goes in, it goes down there. Hey, it's that perfect too. You can't doubt the ball.
That's a manual one.
Let me try it. Let me see how many balls going. I just said you don't do nothing but fail in this game. All right, one more time. I still don't think these will all fit.
Earl, it only takes 10 balls. The pocket.
A little more chalk.
It'll take. Failure, that's what you get.
So Earl, you play a lot, but usually, how many times a year you do these trick shots?
Not really much.
No. During the games or?
There's not been a lot of demand for trick shots anymore. There's not been a lot of demand for trick shots anymore.
That's a microphone.
There's not been a lot of demand for trick shots anymore. They're actually a thing of the past, looks like to me. I'm going to try a couple of stroke shots. They're very difficult shots, the stroke shots, especially sometimes when the conditions are tough. I'm going to try to make the 11 ball. With a lot of spin and go to the bottom rail and come over and around the 9 and make the 4. Well, some of these shots are I probably will never hit it that good again. This shot ain't easy. It really is not. And it's sticky. See, pull needs to be a resistance. Can't be a lot of resistance in this game. gotta be slick. This thing's slipping off. Come on.
No.
I failed again, didn't I? I tried so hard. All I do is fail. I don't understand. Those golfers, everything goes right for them. Nothing ever goes wrong for a golfer. I kept thinking that pool was a harder game, but then I said, no, it can't. I guess I'm fooling. I always wanted to show you the shot that was worth showing. I hate the trick. These shots take a lot of skill. That's why I like showing them. I just can't do it. I hit it good. I hit it great. I need some turtle wax.
You said that the table should be heated. Why? For more accurate, more speed?
If this table was heated, I'd look like a genius. I would struggle near as bad because I'm struggling. It's just everything's so awkward when it gets wet and sticky. It's not the same. I'll try a few more of those wing shots. Man, I can't. See, the cue ball's not catching up to this because of what's going on. I'm telling you, man. The cue ball's not catching up to the shot. That's why I'm missing them. See how the ball's going over here? It usually comes here. It won't come over here.
Always 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
See how the ball's coming over here? That's crazy. That's I'm used to all this. I'm going to try a shot this time. This is another hard shot. So many shots. This is another shot Mike Massey showed me, but it's going to be maybe hard to make it. I don't know. It usually goes. But these pockets are kind of funny. The facings are they're worn out. And that's why the ball won't go in the pocket. The rubber's sticking out. That's okay. I'm used to it. All right, 5 balls. This is a really hard shot. Try to pocket 1, 2, 3 in that 4 in that pocket, and the 5 ball down there. Well, I need the hardest ball. It does. Well, it just shows I ain't got it. I thought I was going to be better than this. One more try. I should have practiced. got me now. He's trying to make maybe I can make this one.
You talk about practice. How much do you practice these days? Weekly, daily?
I haven't been practicing enough. There's not nothing to play for.
There's nothing to play for. Literally. I love this game. They want you to go to Dubai. I got an invitation to go to Dubai. It costs you $5,000 to go there. So it just ain't lucrative, you know. I'm spending $4,000 or $5,000 to win $37,000. So then there's been no tournaments in the States. This game's dying. From what I see, the game's dying. I hate to say that, and I'm not going to lie to you. I've been in this game since I started playing professional pool, which I don't even know if it's a profession anymore, because there's so little to play for. So, what was that, 1980, 1981? And it was doing good for a while in the 80s. If you watch the match I'm talking about with me and Miserak in 83, there's more than 2,000 people in the stands, okay? Television's covering it. The coverage is great. First prize is $30,000, a brand new car. It was good then, okay? But I can't say that now. It probably cost me $400 to go to the tournament. You know what I mean? Now you want me to go to Dubai. You want me to go to the desert to play a pool tournament. I don't believe that. I don't believe that I should have to go there to play. Maybe, I wish you'd go back to Cardiff, you know, or somewhere like that. You know, it makes me sick, you know, that when I won the World Championship in 2002, I got, against Bustamante, I got $75,000 for first prize. And now it's $37,000, and it's not a lucrative thing for me to do, and that's what bothers me. I get an invitation to go try to win an event I love very much. I've won 3 WPA World Championships. I'm the only man to ever win it twice in a row, back to back. Sure, I'd like to play in it, but you're making a pool where it's not lucrative. A lot of the people there are getting their way paid by the government or a federation or some kind. Americans have nothing in pool right now, okay? Our government doesn't care if we live or die, okay? So that's basically what is going on. I don't have a lot to play for, or even though I still have, I'm preserving myself. This is like some kind of plague. It'll blow over, I think. I've seen it happen before. I've seen the game just go to ruins before, a little bit. I think that maybe it'll blow over, and then people will start appreciating the game again. They've lost their way right now, a little bit, you know? With all the other sports in America, they've kind of lost their way. This game's been in America for 500 years, okay? It survived everything thrown at it. It's still here, okay? In 500 years, I don't know if basketball will still be here. I don't know if golf will still be here. So, this is a pretty resilient game, you understand? It's been kicked to the curb, it's been trashed, it's been mowed over, whatever you want to call it, any kind of term you want to throw at it. It's been done to it, okay? And it's still here, like a cockroach or something. But anyway, I still love the game. I just haven't had that much incentive to play as much as I have to in the past. Recently, I've just noticed that it's really dropped rock bottom lately, okay? And I'm no dummy, am I? I should know what's going on in my own sport, right? I'll tell you how I know. This is how I know. Every time I run, something good happens, okay? So I ran for a month or two in the last 3 or 4 months. I'd run 2 or 3 months straight. Every day I'd sit down and look at the phone waiting for it to ring for a lesson or something. Somebody call and want a lesson. That's all I wanted. No phone calls for months. That's what tells me when the game is really going. If I can't even get a lesson with 30 million people, the most diverse city in the world, something's wrong in it. Right? I'm not stupid. So But I won't give up. Don't think I'm going to give up. I'm tricking you. But anyway, it's just lately it's a little funny, I'll tell you. We need somebody to come into the game with millions of dollars. We need to make the table difficult and heat the tables. You need to make it a marquee game. You come in like a gladiator. You know what I mean? Two guys come in, one enters depressed. No, one leaves depressed. There you go, but that's the way it's got to be. It's got to have some hype to it. We don't have enough hype in pool, okay? The way Barry Hearn's doing it with the Moscone Cup is not what I consider hype. I think the tables should be 12 feet long, pool table. That's what I think. Heat it.
Okay.
You got to make it where you get about 8 shots a game. That would be exciting. And you see some great shots too. Something, I don't know, take the side pockets off. Make it where you don't know what's going to happen. If a guy's got ball in him, you don't know if he can get out. Nowadays, if the balls are laying right, the guy gets out every time. So I don't know if the game's too easy or it's too hard. I'm at a crossroads right now. I'm trying to figure that out myself. The game is struggling. Is it too easy or too hard? I don't know. Snooker is a very difficult game, okay? And it protects the better players more than pool. I know that. And it's successful. Understand? So, you know, I'm more vulnerable in this game. If the game was more protective like snooker, I still think I'd be more of a factor then than I would be with 6 pockets. I don't know. I'll play anybody in the world with 6 pockets. I'm sick of watching these guys run out with, I'll play anybody in the world with 4 pockets. If I want to gamble, I won't gamble right now because I can't break the balls well enough. It's all about the break. I can still play, but I can't break like I used to. So the only thing that I can figure, if I want to gamble, take these 2 pockets off where they can't make balls in these pockets on the break, and the outs are more difficult, then I got a chance. I'll gamble like that. And it's saying something. I'm 53 years old. In a week, I'll be 53 years old. I'll play the best player on this planet with 4 pockets. That's pretty proud. You know, I mean, that's, you know, most people my age are not going to make that statement. Are they?
At any other sport, yeah.
Well, you know, I wish I'd have been good at golf. I started playing golf first, but I'm stuck with pool. I can't do nothing else. And I still think pool's, there's something about pool that's different from all the other sports. I still haven't been able to explain that. It's like when you play pool, you have an out-of-body experience. You understand? Your body is not the same as it normally is when you play pool. And it happens to everybody in the game. The coolest guy I ever saw play pool that I didn't think ever got rattled much from it was Buddy Hall. He was the calmest guy. I thought he was dead when I was playing it. Literally. This guy didn't have a pulse, I don't think. He was the most calm guy I've ever seen. If he would have been a surgeon, I'd gladly let him operate on me, that's for sure. But, you know, the rest of us, you know, we all get nervous. Everybody gets nervous. Here's a shot Willie Moscone used to make. I hope I can make it after that. That was a paragraph in a speech, wasn't it? Thanks, Andy.
6 ball.
Let me give you another seminar. Maybe I'll make another shot. But anyway, you know, pool's a great game, and like I said, I'm stuck with it. I'm not going to quit playing. There's no way. Let's try another shot here. I wanted to try this shot one more time. I know it'll go, I just got to hit it right. right, one more try on this shot. We'll try to pocket 5 balls. That's a really, really difficult shot. You know, sometimes you don't make it. But I just felt, you know, I felt in my body I could make that shot if I tried it again. Like I said before, these trick shots are all, they're set up, you know. But that one, not anybody can make that one. The one I just made, I'm telling you, that takes some technique and some know-how to make that shot. And like I said before, trick shots are all set up. But it takes a lot of knowledge too. It's not all just setting the shot up. I mean, you got to know how to hit the shot also. Sometimes. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you want to watch some matches. You still got pool matches going, right?
Yep.
But sometimes don't believe everything I say. But I do believe that the game is struggling. For me, I guess, I don't know. Maybe in China they're playing big tournaments in China. But that still doesn't solidify me. I don't know what's going to solidify me. That's what I'm afraid of. More than anything. It's my solidification. But no, I'm pretty pissed off too at other sports. I shouldn't blame anybody. But sometimes I think the other sports want me gone. You know, they want to get rid of us, literally. So, I don't know. I still think pool's a harder game than the other ones. Like I described a while ago, something about this game that makes you really nervous. And you can't control it. I said it's like an out-of-body experience. It's about what it's like. In America, it would be like this. You're driving down the road, and you got 100 pounds of drugs on you, and the cops pulling you over. That's the way you feel when you go to play pool. You know you're going to jail. So basically what you're doing when you go to play a pool match is you feel like you're being incarcerated and going to jail for life. That's basically what you feel like in this game, ain't it? Who can tell me they feel like that sometimes? I know they do. There you go. There's one. I know all you other guys are kidding yourselves. Don't worry. Because everybody feels the same in this game except Buddy Hall. When I used to shake his hand, it would be bone dry. I go, I ain't even nervous. He was a hell of a player. All right, I'm going to try this shot. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll try to pocket 14 balls in one shot. The 2 in the side, the 4 in the side, the 7 in the side, the 10 in the side, the 13 in the side, the 15 in the side, the 9 in the corner, the 14 in the corner, the 6 in the corner, the 11 in the corner. The 12 will follow the 3 in, and the 8 will follow the 1 in. Hopefully. I hope. All right. As slow as this table is, I don't give it a shot a chance. I really don't. I'll go ahead and cover myself. Them golfers do it. We got 8 guys telling them the grass grew while he was hitting. The grass grew.
Yeah, you go, Tiger.
I'm going, no. The grass can't grow when a guy's hitting. Oh, God. I've never seen so many excuses in a sport. It's unbelievable. You're the most perfect people on earth. 14 balls.
That's how Hartwall is. All right, I'll try it once more. I might be here all day. You won't be here when I make this shit. I'll make this shot. You won't be here. Now, that's what I should have done to start with. Does anybody know what I'm doing now?
Taking your ball.
Real clever. I probably won't get that close again. Oh, it's off by one shot. It's one ball. I'll tell you, this is a tough table to make this shot on.
Eikö sulla ollut Joonas yhtään löysempää pöytää? Joonas.
If I can hit it right. No, this time, if I hit it right.
We'll count that one. We'll count.
Believe that. This game's got a curse. We'll try it one more time. As good as I hit that shot, that ball's going to roll over another fraction, huh? That's amazing to me. Now you see how hard I worked to make this shot? It still got stomped on. Never seen nothing like this game. It's got to be the hardest game. There are no givens in this game, ever. That ain't happening. All right, readjust.
Se Kalli pitää vaihtaa kivestä. Here we go.
Where's the guy who poses?
I got it.
This one higher.
I'm hitting the shot perfect.
I'm thirsty.
I'm hitting it perfect. For something, the table is not up to standard.
It's the humidity.
You see it. Try it one more time. One more try. I won't make it. It'll get worse this time. I know what's going to happen. Because I'm going to hit it as good as I can. It's not funny. You think it's funny? I don't.
He thinks that one.
I know it's funny. Watch it.
Cool. Running.
Fail.
Okay, the last one.
Now,
You promised early. Last trick. After that one, it's time for Ari, Koivunen and the band, and also for the people who want to challenge the master for a few games.
all right, here we go. Here we go.
Do it up anyway. Here we go. The master. Okei, nyt mennään sillä sitten tästä eteenpäin. Jotka haluaa haastaa Stricklandia yhden freeman peleissä, antaa palaa 1 per setti ja Ari voi lähteä valmistautumaan ja ruveta vääntää settiä. Onko skitasoittaja tällä? Se kävi tällä. Käy tsiikaan.
Earl.
Sitten sellainen pienimuotoinen ilmoitus. Jos jollakin on omassa pienessä mielessä paha olo, niin tosta on tuolta narikasta eteistä hävinnyt kepit tässä reilu tunti sitten. Ja jos on vahingossa laittanut väärän bagin, voi palauttaa tänne sellainen vihreä kangaskassi tänne tiskille. Jos ei semmoista löydy tai kellään tuu omatunut tuskia, niin tarkistellaan kameralta sitten muuten, että onko joku käynyt pyörähtää. Mutta jos joku nyt vahingossa on siirtynyt johonkin toiseen paikkaan ja tietää missä voisi olla, niin palauttakaa tuohon ravintolan tiskille, kiitos.
I want 8 ball and 9 ball.
Mä menisin mennyt nostaa tuon pöydän.
Really great.